Good evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Clayton County Board of Education Board Work Session. Today is January the 8th, 2024, where we hope we will do more. We hope we will soar. At this time, we just left from executive session where we discussed personnel and litigation. And I'm going to call the meeting to order. We're going to start with our pledge, Mr. White.
It's my pleasure to introduce to you an outstanding student from Clayton County Public Schools. He is a member of a host of state-level commissions and committees and very much has his voice heard and has represented the students and the school district very well on that level. I'm very pleased to introduce a sophomore from Jonesboro High School, Ms. Judah Whaley.
Come on up, Judah. Judah, go ahead and lead us in the pledge first.
I'm going to ask everyone to stand. All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Every sunset is an opportunity to reset, and every sunrise begins with new eyes. I'll lead you all with a beautiful quote by Richie Norton, because today, my little excerpt is about the true nature of fresh starts. You see, new beginnings can come every single morning when you awake by the grace of God. When that sun rises, you can rise with it and start over and build something for yourself. Fortunately, we have graduated as a society from 2022 to 2023 to 2024. All hardships, wins, and losses that we went through in 2023 were worth it, because now we have learned, and we have learned from them to go and apply our newfound strength to next year. So what do you call this application of newfound strength? Well, that's a subjective matter, but I perceive it as a true chance for self-improvement. Every morning is a chance to self-improve and have a new attitude towards life. You see, perception is key. And whether you choose to wait for the first morning of a new year or to capitalize on every minute of any day that you were blessed to wake up on is, of course, your choice. But what will you do to improve in the end? This time around, we had 365 mornings to process life and improve for the next chapter. Still, no mornings are guaranteed. Pick yourself up, whether that be mentally, physically, or emotionally, and embrace this fresh start. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you all. Thank you, Judah. He's just so inspirational. I needed to start the year out hearing from our future and very inspirational words. At this time, I'm going to call the row of the board as we're here for our first meeting of 2024. Ms. Jasmine Bowles, District 1.
Present.
Mr. Mark Christmas, District 2.
Present.
Jesse Goree, District 3, present. District 4, Ms. Victoria Williams.
Present.
District 5, Dr. D. Haney.
Present.
District 6, Ms. Mary Baker.
Present.
District 7, Ms. Sabrina Hill.
Present.
District 8, Ms. Joy Tellis Cooper.
Present.
District 9, Mr. Benjamin Straker.
Present.
Superintendent, Dr. Anthony Smith.
Present.
Attorney, Mr. Clem Doyle.
Present.
Board Liaison, Ms. Blackwood is ill and had to leave, so Ms. Don Blau will be working in her place, and she's present. Ms. Arlicia Battle, our Administrative Assistant to the Superintendent and Board. All right, before we get started with our meeting, I do want to have us take a moment of silence, as Judah alluded to the fact that every morning is not promised, and we have lost some members of our team over the holidays. So I would like for us to take a moment to acknowledge the following members of Clayton County Public School family. Michael Campbell was a 7th grade student at Eddie White Academy. Mr. Clifton Lee was a campus support personnel at Lee Street Elementary. Miss McClure was a teacher at Callaway Elementary School and previously at Haney Elementary School. Miss Ari Danley was a bookkeeper at Adamson Middle School. And on Friday, I consider this person to be family because this person just went to work on Friday, but somebody decided to walk into his workplace and kill him in Forest Park. And he is the father of some of our students. I know he has 4 children, and I know that 2 of those children attend our school. So he's a part of our family. And I would like for everyone to please take a moment of silence for them and pray or whatever you feel appropriately for their family. Thank you. And I'm even say you all keep me in prayer. My granddaughter is on her way to the hospital, and I'm probably not going to be staying here for this whole meeting. On another note, I want to acknowledge Miss Mary Baker, who had a birthday last week, I believe January the 3rd. She and our illustrious Deputy Superintendent, Dr. Douglas Hendricks. So let's give a little shout out. I also want to acknowledge a historical moment that's happening right now. I want to give a shout out to Mr. Alfred Brooks. He is a teacher at Drew High School, and he has been elected to the Atlanta Public School Board of Education. So he's making history now, being the first active teacher serving on the Board of Education. So I want to give him a shout out. I want to give a shout out to Sergeant Derek McClendon, who works for us. I don't know if he's working for us this evening. No, actually, I think he flew out of town, but he works for us with our safety department. He gave the prayer this morning at the opening of the legislative session in the Senate. He was invited by Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones, and I had the pleasure of attending the event this morning. So we're very proud of him. And And like I said, this Clayton County Public School family extends around the world. I'm gonna give a shout out to Dr. Kim Goodwin Manning, who is the president of ABC News, but the wife of our illustrious area superintendent, Mr. Derek Manning. She received 2 honorary doctorates over the holidays from Morgan State and Florida A&M. So we want to give her a shout out as well. And then I'm gonna give a shout out to our Divine Nine. If the people don't understand who the Divine Nine are, it's that time of the year, folks. So we're gonna start out. We just had J5. That was for Kappa Alpha Psi. Any Kappas in the house? Okay. All right. All right. Next up, J9 will be Phi Beta Sigma. Do we have any Sigmas in the house? All right. I see the Sigmas. Next, the next shout out will be to J13, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. That's a woo. All right. We have J15, the illustrious women of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. I know we got some in the house. All right, there we go. And then we want to give a shout out to the illustrious women on J16. That's the illustrious women of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. All right. I believe that I covered everyone. The others have already had their they've had their Founders Day. No, we did that in December. Y'all gotta wait till the end of the year. Sorry. All right. The next thing that we have on our agenda is our Pledge of Allegiance. I'm sorry, election of the board vice chair. Every year we have a annual election for the board vice chair. So at this time, board members, I am opening the floor for a nomination. Ms. Baker.
Yes, Madam Chair. I would like to nominate Benjamin Straker as the vice chair.
All right, we have Benjamin Straker. Mr. Christmas.
I'd like to nominate Victoria Williams.
All right, we have a nomination for Ms. Victoria Williams. Are there any other nominations? All right, seeing that, we will start with Mr. Straker. All of those in favor of Mr. Straker, please vote. Let me write down. All in favor of Ms. Victoria Williams, please vote. And the vote is I begrudgingly have to do this. Who dat? All right. now that I've gotten that over, I did my best. I came as close as I could with some black and gold. This is it. All right. The first recognition I want Mr. Judah Whaley to come back up. I want to thank him for always representing Clayton County Public Schools. Shake everybody's hand. Come and get everybody. This young man, anytime I call on him, it's my man right here. I can call him, he'll work it out for you. All right. I want to have his parents come up because I believe they some hoodettes as well. He's the only one that he likes the Giants, right? He's a Giants fan. He has the right team. I'm gonna let you talk about that.
Yes, I wanted thank you, Mrs. Chairwoman. I wanted the audience to understand who this guy is and what he does in terms of representing Clayton County Public Schools and our county and communities. The Georgia School Board Association and the Georgia Superintendents Association annually selects about 7 students from the entire state of Georgia to represent them and carry and present to them certain concerns from a student standpoint. Out of those 7 individuals, we're fortunate to have Mr. Whaley being selected as one of them, representing us right here in Clayton County Public Schools. And I was beaming with pride at the GSBA annual meeting back in December, when Mr. Whaley and the other members representing the state had to do a report out to all of the superintendents and board members that attended in the state of Georgia. And the recommendations that he made to that esteemed group of individuals was just so thoughtful. And I mean, and it wasn't just a selfish student asking for a whole lot of stuff. He gave great thought about what he thought the system of Georgia should be doing relative to doing a better job to increasing educational opportunities for the students in the state of Georgia. So, Mr. Whaley, is there anything you'd like to say as the representative for Clayton County Public Schools and doing a phenomenal job when you go before the Georgia School Board Association?
It's not much. I'm just really appreciative of you guys, showing appreciation to me and what I've done. Though it's not much yet, I plan to do much more, so I come back and represent the county. But I just want to thank you guys for that, and thank you guys for going and doing your jobs every day and being authentic and genuine about it every single day, like I said, in my comments. So thank you.
All right, my man. Thank you.
Madam Chair, Mr. Vice Chair, members of the board, Superintendent Smith, ladies and gentlemen. What I'd like to do is ask the individuals who are here to be recognized related to tutor.com, if they would, to line up along the wall on the far side. I would ask that elementary go first, then the middle school, and then high school. While they're lining up, our recognitions tonight center on a first of its kind competition for students to display a creative outlet. One of the big reasons why we are here tonight is Dr. Delphia Young. I would ask that she come forward and join the board. And Dr. Ebony Lee, I ask that she would come forward and join the board as well. In October of 2023, the Editorial, Media Engagement, and Production Services Department within the Division of Communications, Marketing, and Public Relations and Strategic Improvement organized and conducted a Tutor.com promotional video student contest. The objective of this contest was to open to all students and to engage them in creating a 60-second video to highlight the incredible benefits of Tutor.com that could be promoted throughout the district and the community. The videos had to include specific information related to Tutor.com to qualify for judging. This included what is Tutor.com and why is it helpful. A screening of the entries took place in November to determine the top submissions from elementary, middle, and high school levels. Judging focused on whether the criteria were met as well as the overall production values of the project. The competition was intense, making the selection of the winning videos difficult. Last week, certificates of participation were presented to the production teams at the following schools who were listed as honorable mention: Anderson Elementary, Mount Zion Primary, Brown Elementary, Haney Elementary, and Mundy's Mill High School. Tonight, we honor the best of all those submissions that we judged. I ask each student and staff member to please come forward and shake hands with the board as your name is called. In addition to certificates from the board and from the Division of Communications, Public Relations, and Marketing, each participant will receive a $10 Chick-fil-A gift card sponsored by Dr. Young, and each will receive a first place trophy. Now, as you can see, we don't have a trophy here right now. We're going to have a special in-school event for that because, like the check, it's in the mail. So it is my pleasure to introduce the following individuals. First, for Harper Elementary School, Valentina Cohn, Skylar Robinson, Kennedy McIntosh, Omarishi Okune, Jayla Robinson, Kylie Warner, Kevin Tovar, Amita Oloyui, Principal Tara Davidson, Assistant Principal Rashonda Thames, Assistant Principal Dr. Monique Caldwell, and Guiding Teacher Ms. Tyra Price. For Riverdale Middle School, Tiana Robinson, Messiah Robinson, Danny Humphrey, Principal Cedric Coleman, and Guiding Teacher Taj Gibbons. For Morrow Elementary School, Royce Lewis, Flamingald Harrell, and Guiding Teacher Randy Carter. Now we're going to want y'all to schmooze over and get in front of the board. So head that way. Yeah. We're going to do, well, they're going to be in front. You want you want to do 3 rows? Okay. Can we put the elementary kids down front? And then we'll have a row with the middle school kids and the high school kids, then we'll have the board. Does that work? Okay. Now, you guys can't move, by the way, after he takes the picture because of a very important reason. And now we ask the parents who are here with these outstanding scholars and supported them to please come forward and join. If we have parents, family members, please come up. We'd like for you to be part of the photo. Just snug in the best place that you can. Good. That's it. That's it. And while we would like to have the families and children to stay, we are facing some rather adverse weather conditions tonight, so you may want to head on in, so you're home safe and sound. Sorry, the board has to stay. We got plenty of blankets, though, I'm sure. Okay.
At this time, I'll read the ethics statement. In accordance with Board Policy BH, it is the duty of every board member to avoid both conflicts of interest and appearances of such conflicts. Does any board member have any known conflict of interest or appearance of such conflict with respect to any matter scheduled to come before the board at this meeting or appearing on our proposed agenda? If so, please identify the conflict or appearance of conflict and refrain from participation in the matter involved. I need a motion to adopt the agenda at this time, please. Mr. Straker,
So move, Madam Chair.
a second. Ms. Baker,
Second.
it's been moved and properly second to adopt the agenda, please vote. Ms. Cooper. Oh, all right, it's a unanimous vote. 8-0. Thank you. All right, the next item on the agenda is public participation. I'm sorry, y'all. Dr. Smith has something on this evening. He knows I'm allergic. The Clayton County,
She's allergic to great smelling cologne.
I'm about to put my mask back on. The Clayton County Board of Education welcomes public participation and will hear any interested individual pursuant to the guidelines outlined in policy BCBI. Members of the public will not be allowed to discuss individual personnel issues or confidential student matters. Speakers must identify themselves and topics before speaking. Speakers will be given 3 minutes to speak, and time may not be yielded from one speaker to another. Board members will not respond to comments from speakers. The chairperson may respond as appropriate. Issues requiring possible actions by the board may be added to a future agenda. Issues that may need to be addressed by the administration will be duly noted. Abusive language and our personal attacks will not be permitted. Individuals addressing the board must at all times adhere to the civility policy. I have one person who signed up for public participation. That is Ms. Rochelle Osborne. Is Ms. Rochelle Osborne here? Good evening, Ms. Osborne.
Good evening, everyone.
Go ahead.
All right. First off, thank you very much for letting me speak the last time, and also for everyone coming out to Lovejoy High School. I'm back again, looking for a day when we possibly will be breaking ground for building the new school. As you know, we are still currently very overcrowded there. In fact, I think it is the most overcrowded school in the district. With that being said, it's interfering with athletic departments, sports, and so forth, where they're having to rotate the gym just to have everyday school practice for sports, meaning that it's interfering with my Bible study time at 7:30, because sometimes my daughter's not getting out of practice until 7:30. And that's just to be fair to all athletes at the school. I know we're not going to get a school built this year, but I am asking for a plan of something that we can do in the interim. Maybe utilize different spaces, like I said before with the middle school. I don't know what you guys do every day, but it's just my mother plan. Maybe so we can space it out, make sure all of the kids are actually being able to participate, get home in a timely fashion. Another quick topic is college resources. My daughter has a GPA of a 4.25, and there's not enough resources at the school for us to prepare as parents to get them prepared to go to college so that they can get, started on their future. So I'm coming again on behalf of the parents and the students of Lovejoy, just asking for a solid plan, an actual date that we can put down and know that the ground will be broken. I attended a basketball game the other day. The gym, the bleachers look a mess. It is disgusting. You wouldn't even want to sit on it. No, nothing to anyone. I know it's coming and I'm being patient, but if we could just come up with a plan to satisfy something in the interim for safety for children, the overcrowdedness, because there's more houses being built while I'm talking, and we have nowhere to put these kids. Please, thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, Ms. Osborne. That's the only name that I have for a public comment. Thank you so much. At this time, we will have executive session recommendations.
Madam Chair, Mr. Vice Chair, members of the board, esteemed colleagues, and community members, I would like for the board to consider for the position of principal at Arnold Elementary, Ms. Nicole Chapman.
Board members, Superintendent Smith has recommended Ms. Nicole Chapman as the principal of Arnold Elementary School. I need a motion. Ms. Baker.
Madam Chair, I move that we accept the superintendent's recommendation for Ms. Nicole Chapman as the new principal of Arnold Elementary.
Thank you. I need a second. Dr. Haney.
Madam Chair, I do second that motion.
All right, it's been moved and properly second that we accept the superintendent's recommendation of Ms. Nicole Chapman as principal of Arnold Elementary School. Please vote. And it is a unanimous vote, 9-0.
Ms. Chapman, congratulations.
I think we do need, we've been taking pictures. Do you all want to go down or have her stand in front of us from here?
She can stand here.
Okay, Ms. Chapman, come on up. I think we should just go down because let's go down. We're gonna go down. That's what we've been doing.
Thank you, sir.
Where we at, man? All right, at this time, we're going to have the announcements.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, Mr. Vice Chair, Superintendent Smith, and members of the board. I am Julie Lee, a 9th grade student attending Elite Scholars Academy.
Good evening. My name is Sine Francis. I am a 10th grade student at Elite Scholars Academy. Julie and I have the pleasure of sharing this month's board announcements. But first, we would like to share some highlights regarding our illustrious school.
Hello, my name is Samuel Wayne West, the principal of Elite Scholars Academy, and I would like to welcome you to the home of the Royal Knights.
Here at Elite Scholars Academy, we are Cambridge International Early College Magnet School. We offer a wide variety of academic and connection classes. Some of the academic courses are all honors, AP courses, dual enrollment, Cambridge International courses, and even connection classes ranging from art and journalism to Chinese and Latin. With this, we always value our 5 learner attributes, which are confident, responsible, reflective, innovative, and engaged.
The district will host a school choice community input meeting on Thursday, January 11th at the Virginia Burton Gray Recreation Center, located at 1475 East Fayetteville Street in Riverdale. The meeting is scheduled to begin at 6 p.m. Clayton County Public Schools will host its annual Employee of the Year Gala on Saturday, January 20th at Morrow High School, located at 4930 Steel Road in Ellenwood, Georgia. The event will begin at 6 p.m. Tickets are now on sale and can be purchased from school bookkeepers or at the Professional Learning Center in Jonesboro.
On Saturday, January 20th, the Clayton County Board of Education will host a human trafficking awareness event at the S. Truett Cathy Professional Learning Center. Scheduled to begin at 9 a.m., the Professional Learning Center is located at 1087 Battle Creek Road in Jonesboro.
The district will conduct its winter graduation exercises on Tuesday, January 23rd at the Performing Arts Center, scheduled to begin at 6 p.m. The Performing Arts Center is located at 2530 Mount Zion Parkway in Jonesboro. The district-wide spelling bee will be held on Friday, January 26th at the Performing Arts Center in Jonesboro. School-level champions representing grades 3 through 8 will compete for district honors and to advance to regional competition. The spelling bee will begin at 9 a.m.
The 2024 CCPS Helen Ruffin Reading Bowl will be held Saturday, January 27th at Kendrick Middle School. Scheduled to begin at 9 a.m., Kendrick Middle School is located at 7971 Kendrick Road in Jonesboro. 45 teams representing students in grades 4 through 12 are expected to compete for top honors.
The school district will host its annual Scholar Athlete Recognition Ceremony at the Performing Arts Center in Jonesboro on Thursday, February 1st. Registration will begin at 6:45 p.m. with the ceremony set to begin at 7:15 p.m. The school choice fair will take place on Saturday, February 3rd at the Professional Learning Center, 1087 Battle Creek Road in Jonesboro. The fair will begin at 9 a.m.
And finally, Superintendent/CEO of Schools, Dr. Anthony Smith, will host his first State of the Schools address on Thursday, February 8th at 6 p.m. at the Performing Arts Center. This event is open to staff, students, families, and community members.
Madam Chair, that concludes tonight's announcements.
Thank you.
Madam Chair,
Ms. Baker.
I just wanted to say we want to thank Ms. Lee and Ms. Francis, along with their principal, Mr. Sam West, for their cooperation in making this presentation possible tonight. Thank you.
One other announcement. I'm not sure. Is Miss Ebony Brown? Is Ebony Brown in here this evening? It is Capricorn season. She also recently just had a birthday, so I wanted to announce that as well. All
Madam
right.
Chair, while you're at it, Miss Felicia Brown is a great Capricorn. Her birthday was Saturday.
Okay, all right, all right.
Miss Felicia Brown,
Yes.
her birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. At this time, we have approval of the minutes, the board work session, November 27th, 2023. Do we have any additions, deletions, or anything that we need to for those minutes? All right, seeing none, we will accept as submitted. Also, we have the minutes from the board meeting December 4th, 2023. Do we need to correct anything, delete? Seeing none, we will accept them as submitted. The next item on the agenda are updates to the board. And we're going to start with the superintendent's report. Before we start with the superintendent's report, the people that are coming up after you, Dr. Smith, I want everybody to be aware of several things. The weather is changing outside right now as we speak. There's also a championship game on. Some of you all have put quite a number of slides in here, and I'm hoping that you all are familiar with the word summarize. So let's see if you can summarize what you have placed in the packet. And if there are, I'm going to assume that everyone sitting up here read their packet. I haven't seen any questions. If they have some questions, ask them, and let's move on as expeditiously as we can because we don't want to be caught out in that weather this evening. So we'll start with you, Mr. Sweet Smelling Superintendent, Dr. Smith.
Nice smelling. Okay. Good evening, Madam Chair, Vice Chair, members of the board, staff, and the broader community. It is my pleasure to start the new year off by presenting my update to the Board of Education, which will spotlight significant actions, programs, initiatives, and/or accomplishments contributing to the improvement of student, staff, and community outcomes. The information that I will share will empower you to make informed decisions and effectively oversee the functioning of the school district. These updates are strategically aligned with one or more of the Clayton County Board of Education and Superintendent CEO of Schools' 5 priorities. While my comprehensive report is available on eBoard, I will share a condensed, Ms. Corey, version this evening to ensure a timely and focused report. In the Division of Teaching and Learning and Strategic Improvements, the Department of Elementary Academics is developing strategies for implementing Georgia House Bill 538, Georgia Early Literacy Act. The Literacy Act requires districts to take several actions that we are already implementing. A Science of Reading stakeholder group has been established to create a framework to ensure a plan is created to train staff on the components of the science of reading. The math department is recruiting and training 20 high school students as student interns to support the elementary air program in math classes district-wide on Saturday mornings. In the Division of Administrative Services and Strategic Improvement, the addition of elementary flag football, basketball, and middle school girls flag football and soccer has decreased inappropriate behavior and led to some improvements within the classroom and school-wide. It has given the students as well as the staff an increase of school pride and support for their athletes. Additionally, we have made great strides in our athletic facility upgrades, but we still have some ways to go. Currently completing construction on the baseball fields, softball fields, tracks, and practice football fields at Charles Drew, Mundy's Mill, Riverdale, Forest Park, and Jonesboro. The design surveys are underway to begin the reconstruction and repair of all of our middle school tracks. Enhancing the adapted PE sports complex with new equipment for competition as well as a new weight room. In the Division of Business Services and Strategic Improvement, the fiscal year 2025 budget process has started. Meeting with departments to discuss the budget process, providing parameters, and providing assistance in submitting their budget requests if needed. The fiscal year 2023 audit work will begin shortly after completion of the 2022 audit. Working with our financial advisor, Mr. Ed Wall, along with bond counsel Earl Taylor, to issue a $280 million bond. Recently, we met with Board of Education members to discuss the district capital needs and funding options. Once final fiscal year 2022 audit is received, interest rates will be locked and closing dates set, and interest rate meeting will be scheduled for board consideration. In the Division of Equity and Compliance, the primary focus during this time of the year is completing the employee relations actions that impact staffing decisions, supporting school-level leadership to ensure preparedness for staffing conferences, which occur in late January, by conducting meetings with building administrators to review performance and disciplinary documentation. In the Division of Human Resources and Strategic Improvement, several enhancements has been determined and have taken effect January 2nd, 2024. We have decreased the number of background questions on the employment application, reduced the number of required references, and expanded acceptable references types. Teacher interview supporting documentation no longer has to be uploaded as a part of the request for hire. Position posting period has been modified from 5 business days to 5 calendar days. In the Division of Student Support Services and Strategic Improvement, the Achieve Attendance Team has been actively conducting training sessions with school-level personnel regarding the attendance process, raising awareness of attendance among stakeholders, and holding weekly meetings to monitor current data and design future steps. As a result, has noted an increase in daily average attendance percentages ranging, that is a decrease in daily attendance rate. Increase in daily average attendance percentage ranging from 0.11% to 1.67% from the 2022-2023 school year to the current academic year. So we're making some improvements with our attendance. Most state-identified schools have indicated an increase in their daily average attendance rates. Clayton County Public Schools is exceeding last year's percentages as of November 2023. In the Division of Communication and Strategic Improvement, team members continue to focus on highlighting district's 5 priorities and telling Clayton County Public Schools story. Priorities for December included raising awareness of the district's teaching and learning back to the basics approach and instructional framework, our safety and security plans, our arts and athletic offerings, and spotlighting staff and students' various accomplishments. Enhanced diversity of content on Channel 24's programming as a special segment on our teaching and learning and strategic improvement academic team. Additionally, the district's aviation program was spotlighted on WSB-TV Channel 2 by senior reporter Tom Jones. We've also launched our new district and school websites, which will be effective tomorrow, January the 9th. The Community and Employee Engagement collaborated with Clayton County Public Schools Foundation Board to provide food for 300 employees in need during the holidays. Also, they took the 2024 Teachers of the Year to New York City for a never-been-done experience. Tonight, I will share a special video presentation of both the Teacher of the Year experience and a news story featured of our Clayton County Public Schools aviation program at Morrow High School. We will start with the Teacher of the Year video.
And we want you to think that we don't recognize who does the real work. All right? I just sit up there. Y'all do the work.
Hi, my name is Ashlyn Adams, and I'm representing Suter Elementary. And we are just coming back from our New York trip for Teacher of the Year, and it was such a great trip. This was my first time going to New York, so it was wonderful to be able to do it as the Teacher of the Year for Clayton County Public Schools.
Hi, my name is Cassandra Slim. I'm the music teacher at Lake City Elementary. I had an incredible time today in New York City.
I'm Bob Bynum, Mundy's Mill High School, Teacher of the Year. I want to thank Dr. Smith, stakeholders, the board members, all those that had a hand in giving us an extravagant and unique and just an all-around good time.
I'm Kira Ingram. I'm from BC Haney Elementary School. Today was my first time going to New York City, so I was very excited to go and experience the city and just take in all the sights.
We did the hop on, hop off tour, and we were able to sightsee and see a lot of things that was in New York. And it was just a great time, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity.
I'm Maurice Bruton. I am North Clayton High School's Teacher of the Year, and today we had a phenomenal trip to New York where we got to explore. It's my first time going to New York ever, and just in that experience it has opened my eyes to where now I definitely know I'm going back, and I can thank Clayton County Public Schools for that opportunity.
We ate, we walked, and we had an amazing time, you guys. For those of you all that'll be participating next year, I wish you all the best, and I know it's going to be even better than what we had this year.
I do believe we have a Teacher of the Year in the audience, and I think she would like to come forward to make some very brief remarks about the experience.
I'll make it brief, I promise, but this is the English teacher in me. I had to draft something up. Good evening, Superintendent Dr. Smith, Madam Chair Goree, and distinguished board members. My name is Candace Jones. I'm a proud Charles R. Drew High School 2023-24 Teacher of the Year and one of the finalists for Clayton County Public School District Teacher of the Year finalists. I would like to acknowledge Ms. Rice and her wonderful team for giving us this opportunity and exceeding the expectations. As you can see, we had an amazing time, and it just put a smile on my face because I just relived it all over again, but I digress. That was wonderful. The different events that they have planned or have lined up for us is what I call red carpet energy. From the recognition at the Falcons game to the glitz and glamour of the Teacher of the Year photo shoot, not to mention the Teacher of the Year grocery experience, then to announce that Clayton County Public Schools is rewarding us with a day trip to New York City. Who does that? Who does that? Hey. And we flew Delta, by the way. We had a police motorcade escort to the airport, and did I mention we bypassed TSA? We felt like superstars. So that was absolutely wonderful. Again, the red carpet energy, that's what we called it. The experience in New York City was top tier. We got the opportunity to tour Manhattan's Times Square, eat some authentic New York City cuisine, do some shopping, visit the World Trade Center Memorial, ride the subways, and take a tour on an open-air tour bus. Again, the red carpet energy, you can't beat it. The experience by far was absolutely amazing. I know I can speak for all of the wonderful teachers of the year for Clayton County Public Schools. We can't wait to see what's in store for us at this gala, because if it's anything like the New York trip, oh boy, we're excited. So on behalf of the 2023-24 Teachers of the Year, we thank each and every one of you. Ms. Rice, Ms. Smith, and your team, thank you so much. Thank you.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. I'd be remiss if I didn't thank publicly Mrs. Rice and her team, also Mrs. Nina Packer, the executive director for the foundation, for supporting this great cause, and for all of the educators out there watching this program. We want you to know this is how we treat our educators. So if you don't get that kind of red carpet treatment where you're at, come on and join us. Thank you.
Well, let us just go ahead and hear from Mr. Strake. And I want to point out that Ms. Jackson understands. That's why she came on back home, right? Oh, okay. She changed her name. I've been knowing her for a long time. That's why she came back home. Yeah. All right, Mr. Straker.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just really briefly, I wasn't going to say anything, but Ms. Rice, I mean, that was star treatment. Dr. Smith recommending you to that job is the best thing that has happened to Clayton County Public Schools. I hope. I hope that we as an organization and as an administration is taking note to the fact that when a principal gets these jobs, they know how to treat our folks. So let's take note of that, because Ms. Rice is that perfect example of a principal understanding her employees. Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Straker. Next, the aviation video for the ones who have not had an opportunity to see it.
They're taught by certified flight instructors on equipment real pilots use.
That's phenomenal. And Channel 2's Tom Jones climbed into the cockpit with students who took him for a virtual ride.
And getting a leg up
The superintendent said you won't find a program like this.
Aviation program where they're taught by certified flight instructors on equipment real pilots use.
That's phenomenal. And Channel 2's Tom Jones climbed into the cockpit with students who took him for a virtual ride.
Yeah, the superintendent says you won't find a program like this in any other high school in the country. It's giving students real-world experience and getting them on the path to getting their pilot's license.
We're going to be taking off from just a straight runway.
You would think I would be really nervous.
And we'll start taking off.
Sitting in the cockpit.
We're off.
With a high school student pilot at the controls. But I'm not, because we are flying one of 30 FAA-approved flight simulators at Morrow High School.
Now, I'm going to do a turn so we can get a feel of what it's actually like.
It's all a part of Morrow's one-of-a-kind aviation program.
We actually let high school kids do things that adults do.
There are about 40 students in the program. The cadets take aviation courses taught by a certified flight instructor.
They get to get one-on-one instructor time. They get to learn everything that a private pilot needs to know.
They take an FAA ground exam and even have 2 Cessnas to practice flying. Lieutenant Colonel Raymond King and school leaders partnered with the Brock Foundation and created the program. King says there is an incredible shortage of airline pilots and the industry needs more minorities.
We're right in Hartsville Jackson's backyard, so we want to be that pipeline.
Keep it straight, keep it straight.
Superintendent Anthony Smith says it's about developing programs that help students soar.
We want to give our kids, as many opportunities to succeed in life as possible, and this is just one more opportunity.
Colonel King says the program can set students up for life.
If they stick with the plan, they could be making in excess of $300,000 a year at 25.
I'm about to land on this runway over here.
Cadet An Lee stumbled on the program when he went to the wrong class.
At that moment, I was like, wow, that's so cool. I want to be part of that.
Now he hopes to get his pilot's license and fly people all over the world, including his family.
My family always wanted me to fly them back to Vietnam. So that's one of the things too. It feels like I'm really taking a step up in my life.
The school says 2 students have already graduated from the program and are well on the way to getting their pilot's license. Reporting in Clayton County, I'm Tom Jones for Channel 2 Action News.
Up next, we have update from the Division of Teaching and Learning and Strategic Improvements led by Dr. Delphia Young.
I'm going to be brief. So good evening, Madam Chair Gurry, Mr. Vice Chair Strager, congratulations. Members of the board, Superintendent Smith, and the audience. Tonight, I'd like to introduce 2 of our presenters. We have Ms. Rhonda Love, who will be sharing a very brief presentation. She is our K-12 Social Studies lead teacher, and she has 2 students who will join her tonight and talk about what they are experiencing in social studies. We also have a presentation about our safety initiatives, and we are very pleased. I don't want to spoil it, but we have some great outcomes on the efforts that we have been putting in place to reduce our discipline referrals and consequences. And Dr. Mevin Blocker will bring that presentation. And I'm just going to be brief because you have the executive summary, you have the PowerPoint. If you have questions, please feel free to send me an email. And also, I would like to ask that maybe we can do some small group conversations about CCR, PI, and MAP, so you can get all your questions answered, okay? So I just want to be brief, very brief. So just remember that the CCRPI, which is the College Career Readiness Performance Index, it is the state tool for accountability, and it serves several purposes, and they're listed there. The CCRPI report also answers a number of questions that ranges from how our students are achieving all the way to are our kids graduating from college on time, which is defined as 4 or 5 years. And I want to stop here very quickly just to share with you our outcomes for 2023. We had improvements in every area for our 23 year. And we have some really good news to share with you. What you see in green is where we surpassed the state outcomes on the various indicators of CCRPI. We are proud of our school's performance. We have listed our school, top performing schools on the various components of CCRPI, starting with graduation rate for high school all the way down to the remaining 4 components with content mastery as well as progress. And you have that information there in your board package as well as sharing it with the community at this time. We also have 2 other areas in which we have schools have really outperformed this year comparing to last year and other schools in the district. We have our Closing the Gaps schools that had high performance, and we have our school with readiness there listed there. Again, please, I look forward to sharing with you in our small group presentations what each one of these components represent and what they reflect. And good news that the State Department will be releasing tomorrow at 10 o'clock. We have schools that were formerly our state identified school. We had 22 last year, and we are now with 4 schools for this year. And so look forward to seeing a write-up from that coming from our communications department, and then followed by me saying, hey, let's get together and talk about this. To share with you our MAP data, which is our benchmark per se, to help us understand where we are. And just to remind you, we administer the MAP 3 times a year, the beginning of the year in August, middle of the year, December, January, and the end of the year, March, a little bit early in April. And that assessment, especially in language arts and mathematics, it serves multiple purposes. One, it gives us an idea of how much our students are learning and growing, and it also projects our future performance on the GMAS. And so you have that information in your package there. So we have administered both the fall and the winter MAP assessment,
and we have our outcomes listed here. We know that we're implementing new standards, people, in mathematics. Yay! So, and so we will, our students will take the math assessment in GMAS. They will take it, but we won't have any data for it for a very long time because it's a new assessment. So I just want you to put that out there right now for you. And so you can see our performance from fall to winter. The assessments do not test the same thing, but we just want to look at the projection of the beginning learner, developing learner, and proficient learner from each of those assessment terms. Just be mindful, students are still learning, teachers are still teaching, and we look forward to seeing our end of the year results. We are sharing that with you for both math and language arts. And in the PowerPoint presentation, as well as in the write-up for the executive summary, we have shared with you some of the actions that we're implementing and what we are continuing to expand for our next steps, and especially working with our actions for intended results, working with SIR program, which is our tutorial acceleration that we're offering Saturdays for our elementary and middle schools, and during the weekday at our high schools. In addition to all the other things that we're implementing in the schools, we will be kicking off with the partnership with the federal programs, another high dosage tutoring program called Class Act, and you'll get more information about that very soon. And that's my report. That was quick. Are there any questions?
I sent quite a few. I'm not asking them this evening, but I'm hoping that you can respond and send it to the board.
Okay, I will do that. Sure. No problem. All right, so let's hear from our next presenter, social studies.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Dr. Goree, our esteemed board members, Superintendent Dr. Smith, to the executive leadership, as well as our Clayton County community. My name is Rhonda Love, and I am one of the K-12 social studies lead teachers. I am here to share some updates from the Department of Social Studies. Our vision is to prepare students to become informed global citizens through the acquisition of relevant skills and the knowledge of diverse cultures around the world. I understand that you have a copy of this presentation as well as the board report. So I'm just going to go over one of our main priorities, which is to provide ongoing in-person professional development to our teachers. Based on our data, we saw a real need to provide refresher trainings for our instructional resources and having show the teachers how they align to our standards. So we did that during our summer academy, pre-planning day, ELBC day in November, as well as we have monthly department chair meetings. And for those who cannot attend in person, we provide a monthly video series. In addition, our team gives daily support to schools on a tier system. This support includes leading collaborative planning sessions, leading data meetings, lesson modeling and side-by-side coaching, instructional observations with immediate feedback. Something new that we hosted this year was a U.S. History Quiz Bowl in November. And we want to thank our CCPS Foundation providing gifts for our students. And North Clayton High School won that academic bowl. Additional updates include the progress of our civic engagement, diversity awareness, and financial literacy programs. For civic engagement, our department partners with When We All Votes, which provides resources and trainings to our high school students. The strategies used in support of civic engagement efforts in our school district include national and statewide trainings for organizing clubs, educational seminars for our students on various issues, instructional packages to our teachers and students explaining select issues on the ballot, as well as document-based questions, scavenger hunts, and other activities for our students related to voting in Georgia. We are so excited that all of the community service hours that our high school students accumulate through these activities can be used to earn a civic engagement diploma seal when they graduate. For our diversity awareness months, the social studies department delivers an instructional package for each commemoration, which shares K-12 lesson plans, background information on each culture, and student competitions. We celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month, Native American Heritage Month, Filipino Heritage Month, Jewish American Heritage Month, Italian American Heritage Month, Black History Month, Women History Month, and the list goes on. Also, in support of our district's focus on financial literacy, our team put on a dynamic camp this summer for our students, which included a Shark Tank competition where students presented their businesses as well as a prototype to local entrepreneurs as well as Delta Airlines representatives. This year, we also had the chance to hear from the CEO of Goal Setters, who was who actually presented in the real Shark Tank on TV, and she was able to speak to students about her experiences, give feedback, and was a judge for that competition. So on this evening, we have two scholars who will share their experiences with you regarding our civic engagement and financial literacy programs. First, we have Nyla Jones, who is a senior at Mondays Mill High School.
Good evening, Dr. Smith, Madam Chairwoman, Dr. Gorey, and all other board members, cabinet members, and visitors. My name is Nyla Jones, and I am a senior at Mondays Mill High School. Recently, my classmates and I have had an opportunity to participate with civic engagement offered through the Department of Social Studies. Through the program, I was able to become more involved in school activities and more acquainted with my fellow students. I was able to help people and gain knowledge at the same time, like when we did our voter registration drive to help inform students of their rights as voters and help them register for early voting. Being able to vote is a right that people have been fighting to get for a long time, and yet there are still people whose votes are being suppressed, which is why it is very important for students to learn their rights as voters. It's a topic that will come up in almost every social studies class. During this event, we managed to register about 66 students, and being put in a position where I got to learn and teach other students about voting and how it affects our current political society has really helped me deepen my comprehension and grasp of what I've learned in social studies, especially in government. And I just know civic engagement would do just as much good to future students as it has for me. Not only is the program a good way to introduce responsibility to students, it is also an opportunity for them to put themselves out there and to be more involved in their community. It is also a chance for them to have a fun and unique experience, like when we volunteered at a dog shelter that was offering free medical care. That was not something that just anybody could do, especially at our age. Overall, I want to thank you for supporting the CCPS Department of Social Studies commitment to civic engagement, because it really is a good learning experience that gives students a sense of purpose and teaches them valuable skills that'll benefit them later on. And I learned a lot through the program, such as how to better communicate and adapt, and how to listen, think, and be more empathetic towards others. I have taken a more positive view on life, and I have been more efficient with my time, which has really helped me with my self-esteem and has helped me make new friends. Again, I thank you for this opportunity and for taking the time to hear from me. Have a good rest of your evening.
We also have one more student, Mr. Jaden Edwards, who is an 8th grader at Elite Scholars.
Good evening, Dr. Smith, Madam Chairwoman, Ms. Gorey, and all other board members, cabinet members, and visitors. My name is Jaden Edwards, and I am an 8th grader at Elite Scholars Academy. Recently, my classmates and I had an opportunity to participate with the financial literacy camp through the STEM program. Sorry. I was able to learn more about economics, and it also gave me the chance to develop on, I'm sorry.
Take your time, young man. You're doing great.
I was able to learn more about economics, and it gave me a chance to develop on learning about money management, budgeting, savings, and it allowed me to develop on teamwork. One unique thing I learned about the experience was our product, which we won first place for, a virtual reality headset made from scratch. In social studies, we are actively learning over finances using a Future Smart, using the EverFi platform. This camp gave me a better understanding of how to learn to how to financially use money as I mature. We learned the rule 50, 30, 20, which dollars goes to your saving, $30 goes to your wants, and $20 goes, wait.
Can I stop you right there? Because a whole lot of grown folks in here need to hear that. Can you repeat that loudly one more time?
$50 go to your, 50% goes to your needs, 30% goes to your wants, and 20% goes to your savings. Continued financial literacy camps will help future generations greatly because it gives students a vast understanding about economics and financial development. Thank you for supporting the CCPS Department of Social Studies, and thank you for this opportunity. Have a great rest of your evening.
All right. Now, is that the mom or a teacher? Oh, okay, because he got it together when you got that step beside him. Thank you. Appreciate you, ma'am. Thank you, young man.
Are you, what, Ms. Cooper?
I just wanted to commend the students that came up today and presented, and all the students that come up, each board member, and present. I don't know if people understand just how hard this is for them to get up there and stand and talk, and they do an outstanding job every single week. So I think we need to get up on our feet and give them a hand clap of. They did an awesome job. Keep up the good work.
Go ahead.
Oh,
are you?
Well, that included my presentation. Again,
Oh,
it's our
okay.
department's goal to provide these unique opportunities for our students to make sure that they are prepared for life. Thanks for your attention. Do you have any questions?
Dr. Haney?
I want to commend you for the diversity. I mean, I like all of what you all are doing in the social studies department, but more so the diversity. That shows other districts that we are very multicultural here and that we don't discriminate against any. And it shows that we are equal in all that we do here and for our children. And to also give an opportunity for children who speak the native language to understand other cultures as well. And just to see that.
Really good. I had a great time. And you've done an amazing job. You really have. And and the young man he needs to probably email his speech to us so we can get that whole thing about the financial literacy piece. And the young lady, I want to thank her so much because of the fact she talked about her, how it has helped her with her self-esteem, not to mention the fact that is to my heart, I wanted to know how we were doing as far as voter education and voter registration. And I'm glad to hear that you all have registered students because I do want to get with you all about what we can do because we do have a major election year coming up this year, and we do need to get our students registered. Thank you all so much. Great job.
All right.
I want to point out now, I'm looking at my app as far as weather is concerned. I know, in it. No, come on up. I know that everybody should know how to navigate in the rain, but we do have a severe weather coming. And at a certain point, I might actually stop the meeting and we might be able to, but there are some pertinent things on here that I know that we need to address this evening. and we may just add it to the next session. But go ahead, Mr. Blocker.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Dr. Goree, Vice Chair, Mr. Straker, members of the board, Superintendent, Dr. Smith, and members of the community. My name is Melvin Blocker, an executive. Yes, sir, Dr. Melvin Blocker. All right. I humbly come before you to share a few brief updates for our first semester in terms of discipline compared to the year before. And I'm just proud to announce, man, we've had significant improvements here in Clayton County Public Schools. And let me go to the next slides, because I'm going to be brief, but I want to talk about this slide for a second. All right, so we have 5 behavior norms are non-negotiables in Clayton County Public Schools, and we speak this in every school when we do our discipline assemblies. Dr. Booner and I, my teammate in the back, and all the members of DPI. We go to the schools, we're not just talking about this, but we're teaching the children how to behave from our department. So we don't want to just say to you that we're giving you consequences. We're going to tell you what we expect, and then we're going to show you how to carry yourself in our schools. So this is what we're doing at all the middle and high schools on a daily basis from our department. So we go to the next slide, and we have strategic plans to support the superintendent's number one priority is to make schools safe. And the biggest issue that we had in Clayton County over the years is fighting. And I'm proud to say that we've reduced violence in our schools by more than 50%. And if you can see this number to the right, we said 74%. We've had a reduction in student behavior here in Clayton County Public Schools on our big 5 most serious infractions. That's something that needs to be applauded to the principals, the parents in our community. We're doing a phenomenal job. And that's in line with our superintendent's number 1 priority. I'll go to a few more slides. I'm gonna be very brief. Of course, everything has improved. Outdoor suspensions, student attendance, referrals have improved by 14%. I'm not going to be long with that, but I want to talk to you all briefly about our programs that we have in terms of the YES program and the opportunity rooms. These programs have yielded some significant results for us. We have 120 students in our opportunity room. I'm sorry, we've had 120 students in our opportunity rooms, which is at the elementary level. Those opportunity rooms, and I had someone who was going to come and present from Lee Street, or Tiffany Carter, but because of the weather, we asked her not to show up tonight. But we want you all to know that our children are learning how to behave at the elementary, middle school, and high school levels. And we're going to continue this effort through the elementary schools. The YES program, we have 72 students in that program. I think we exited about 27 that are going back to the traditional schools this semester. So that's to be applauded as well. And I'll just stand and take a few more questions from you guys if you have it. But here are some photos from our opportunity rooms at Lee Street Elementary School. Let me speak on this one. Student tribunal data has improved. You can see it has improved by 25%. So that means we are doing something right somewhere, somehow. So I'll take any questions you have. Not long-winded, I apologize.
Ms. Hill.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I don't have any questions. I just want to say thank you for this comprehensive report. I had the opportunity to go through it and through the details, and I do see the reduction. I do see the improvement. So I just want to commend you, your staff, and as you said, it's all of us who is participating in it. And I did see a few testimonies, and I know we didn't have time to bring it, but I do like to hear the real-time experience from our teachers and how they were able to be go back into the classroom and behave better, and how they saw improvement. So I just want to say thank you for this report and keep up the good work.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Yeah, what we do is when we have these meetings, we'll identify tier 3 kids or students who've had some troubles, been in 1 or 2 fights in the schools. We'll bring them into an assembly format. My team and I will talk to them about good behavior, give them some examples, and just make them feel good about being good students. And then we give them an opportunity to reflect and write reflection letters, and they share. And you'd be surprised. I've never in my life met a student that didn't want to be successful. I don't care how much trouble you've been in. So we just keep working with the children one at a time.
Mr. Straker.
Yeah, really quickly. First and foremost, Dr. Smith, another great recommendation. Another example of a principal moving to the level of looking after our district. Dr. Blocker, I want to say that you can fool people in here really well, because I know once you leave this door, those kids are scared straight when they interact with you. But you put on a good performance in front of
Yes, sir.
you know, the staff here. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Any questions?
I don't see any. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you all. Thank you, Mr. Block.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Mr. Vice Chair, board members, Superintendent Dr. Smith, colleagues, and community members. You have received my executive summary for the month of November, as well as my quarterly summary. However, there are several points that I do want to discuss with you. There we go. Let's go back. This presentation slide right here represents the month of December. However, the last time I presented before you was the month of November, so I do want to discuss the numbers of November. And real quick, as it relates to November, we had a decrease in weapon possession on school property of 33%, in which for the month of November 2022-2023 school year, we had 6 weapons located on school property. This year we had 4. As you can see, for the month of December, we had 1 in 2022-2023, and for the this past December, we only had 1 located, for a decrease of 50%. Also, as Dr. Blocker mentioned, we have a decrease in fights on school property. For the month of December, we had a decrease of 41% as it relates to how law enforcement document incidents on school property. So we are decreasing and going in the right direction. And if you hadn't received my quarterly stats, I just thought it was very important that you see a chart or a graph that indicates the direction that the school district is going as it relates to weapon possession on school grounds. And if you can look at the month of August, blue indicates 2022-2023, and the orange indicates 2023-2024, you will see 4 or 5 of those months, our numbers have gone down. The only anomaly we had was in the month of October, where we had 8 weapons on school grounds. Now, with that being said, for 2022-2023, we had 19 weapons the first half of the school year, and this past year we only had 18, with 4 only being real or considered real weapons. So we're trending in the right direction as it relates to weapons on school property, as it also relates to fights on school property. So as Dr. Blocker said, our environment is getting better. At this particular time, I want to introduce or bring Mr. Thompson up, because there are several other areas as it relates to safety and security. Mr. Thompson is the executive director over emergency preparedness. So I'm going to bring him up and let him discuss his part of the presentation. I got you, sir.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Mr. Vice Chair, board members, Dr. Smith, community. I'm pleased to announce that Clayton County Public Schools met the state's mandate for intruder drills required to be conducted by October 1, 2023. The county also successfully submitted each of the school's safety plans to GEMA by the November 1, 2023 mandated date. Secondly, Safety and Security's Office of Emergency Preparedness participated in a flood impact study that assessed site-specific flood warning and response plans during a 100-year flood event. This study was led by the Clayton County Water Authority, as well as the Clayton County Emergency Management Agency. The study included each impacted site establishing an effective communication warning process and traffic control protocols. And finally, the Office of Emergency Preparedness conducted the district's first active threat tabletop exercise facilitated by representatives of the United States Department of Homeland Security's Cyber Security and Infrastructure Security Agency, known as CISA. Tabletop exercises are conducted to assess and identify gaps in safety protocols related to response and recovery activities. CCPS partnered with CISA to garner a more objective and expert approach to identifying opportunities for improvement. The exercise entails creating an active threat scenario and the team walking through the response protocols currently in place. We were successful in identifying and addressing areas for improvement. We will continue to review our protocols, train, and conduct exercises that make our schools better prepared in the event of an active threat by intruder or natural disasters. Any questions?
Are there any questions? I don't see any. Oh, wait a minute, Dr. Haney, go ahead.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Ford, Chief, and you probably answer too. When you said there's a decrease in fights, do you have the information? Is it regarding the middle? How is that broken down? Middle, high? Was it a decrease in middle school? Was it a decrease in high schools, elementary? How is that broken down?
I think Dr. Blocker can mention how theirs are broken down. Ours isn't necessarily broken down by elementary, middle, and high school. What we do is we just tabulate everything that comes through safety and security. However, the school district also tabulate, they have the total number of fights. We only deal with a certain number of fights depending on how violent or how bad they are. That's when, or if law enforcement had to intervene.
Okay. And then with the recent lockdowns, so that was that training where he was mentioning, how was that, was it conducive basically? Because we've just had all these lockdowns recently.
Yes, ma'am. What we try to do, and I think it's a collaborative effort, what we try to do is we try to look at situations going on in the neighborhoods. And that's why we try to build a partner with Clayton County Police as well as all the other jurisdictions and be acclimated to what was going on. We had several individuals that was contacted by Forest Park, police department that informed us what was going on, and we just thought it was in the best decision to just, we didn't know which direction the perpetrator was going to go in. We knew that he had been to several locations within the Forest Park community. So at that particular time, rather than locking one or two schools down, we decided to lock all the schools down. Okay. And of course, when we got information that he may have fled to another side of the county, we began to lock schools down in that particular area just to make sure we can keep our students safe.
All right, thanks.
Well, we appreciate the steps that you all took on Friday because we had no idea where he was going to. And I do want to point out one other thing. I know that we did have a lockdown at North Clayton early in the morning, and that was due to a student someone that got on the bus. He wasn't a student.
He wasn't a student.
And I think that we might need to look at the whole, this whole scenario of our students having ID. And as you mentioned, we had that discussion this morning that the ID cards could serve other things other than just ID, lunch cards, using them for the media center, all those types of things. But we'll have that conversation. I'm sure you all will have that conversation. Thank you so much for
Thank you, gentlemen.
Taking care of our students.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you, board members. This time, Mrs. Bivens, provide our financial report.
And I'm not sure, since Ms. Bivens is coming up, is Ms. Billingsley still here? All right, since I now understand that we don't have to keep this undercover any longer. We were talking about those Capricorn birthdays. Miss Billingsley also had a birthday last week. I didn't call her name out because she says she likes to keep it undercover. So you all go ahead, and since I see she had a lot of celebrations, y'all give it up for Miss Billingsley for getting another year too. All right.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Mr. Vice Chair, board members, Superintendent Dr. Smith, cabinet members, colleagues, and community. This evening, we have the financial report for the month ending November 30th, 2023. And I'm going to be fast because I want to go see the game too, Ms. Goree. So, so as you can see, we collected 29.1% or $184.7 million of our budgeted revenues for through November 30th, 2023. And we had a total expenditure of $189.6 million, which was 29.9% of our budget. We did collect some tax revenue that we received in November. It was collected in the month of October. So that's the $36 million that you see there that we collected, which is 15%. When I do the December report at the end of this month, the next work session, that number would be much higher because I believe we received like 160 million, I think, somewhere in that range. So that number is going to go up. Any questions on the financial report? Okay. Next, we have our SPLOST revenue report. As you can see, in November, it's for as of October 31st. We're a month behind. As when they submitted to us, we collected almost $5.9 million of this in this year, or in 2023. Excuse me, compared to $5.3 million in the prior year. Year to date, not year to date, but inception to date, since its inception for the SPOS program, we collected $230 million of the projected $280 million. Because we're averaging about $5 million a month in collections. Any questions on the SPOS revenue report? Being none, I'm gonna go to the purchasing report. There are 3 sections on this, 3 reports included with the purchasing report. As you know, board policy requires that we present those items with the value exceeding $50,000. They require your approval. So the first report is Report A, consumable purchases made with a value of $10,000 or more. Any questions on that report? Report B is non-consumable purchases with that were made with a value of $10,000 or more, but less than $50,000. Any questions on that one? And then Report C is non-consumable items with a value of $50,000 or more that require board approval as detailed in the executive summary that was submitted to you. Any questions on that one?
Are there any questions? All right.
Okay. So the next item, it doesn't show up there, is the retention incentive. You did receive, last week we sent an executive summary, but that has been revised to include some other personnel. So as you know, last month while we were on break, the governor announced a $1,000 retention supplement to be paid to K-12 teachers and support staff. We are recommending paying the $1,000 retention incentive to all active full-time employees and long-term subs. The estimated cost of this initiative is $7.6 million. Additionally, to show appreciation for all other employees, the superintendent and staff recommend paying a $500 retention incentive to all part-time active employees at an estimated total cost of $195,923. So the total for both initiatives is $7.8 million. We did receive $5.3 million from the state based on our QBE earned positions. We will need to fund the difference of $2.5 million with other local sources. I did provide you an overview of the initiative from the state. And so we're asking the board to approve the general fund to cover the difference of $2.5 million using our fund balance, which would be reimbursed from our indirect costs that we'll receive from our ESSER funds once Ms. Thompson, I'm still recalling my first name, when she submits the budget to the state for approval, because we are entitled to some indirect costs. So we have a few $1 million that we can use to cover that cost.
Let me ask a question.
Yes, ma'am.
In regards, since we received an email today from someone regarding when you're talking about part-time, does Dr. Smith, does that include people that work campus kids and cafeteria?
Yes, ma'am. All
Okay.
part-time employees.
When we paid the $500 at the beginning of the year, have we given any other part-time employees bonuses like prior to this?
I think they got, I know they got the one, I
We
believe,
don't
in
that
October.
often. Generally, we don't, but in this particular case, we wanted to recognize everybody. On some occasion, we do, depending on the availability of funding. But it's not consistent that we do this with all part-time people as in line with practices of surrounding districts.
Okay, I just wanted to be clear because I responded to that, to the person. And I want to say this, you all, for everybody that's listening, I don't want to delay, but we did get some emails that weren't so nice from some people over the holidays about the money that you didn't receive. And we are trying to give our employees some retention bonuses and, money that we have, we're trying to look out. So if we're giving, and that's the operative word, giving you a retention bonus, and you're a professional, instead of you're sending a hot email to the superintendent and to the board, how about you learn to say thank you? And if your money wasn't right, we were going to fix it for you, but you knew everybody was on vacation, and then you sent a little nasty email, and you want people to just come back in. As I responded to several people, I said, look, if we made a mistake, we will correct it. But when someone is trying to be nice to you, just say thank you. And we would greatly appreciate it, because we appreciate you. That's why Dr. Smith took it upon himself to even want to give out those retention bonuses. Okay, Ms. Baker.
Before we get any more emails, do you know when these will possibly be sent out? To me, retention could mean waiting till you sign a contract, but do you know when they're going to?
It'll be paid Thursday. We're going to process it tomorrow if the board approves it. We already have it set up, ready to go.
Okay, thank you.
Right. So technically, it's not money that we're giving to say you got to stay. This is what the governor decided that he wanted to do. He put that out there. And so therefore, the majority of the money is coming from the state. And then we are going to be very nice and pick up everybody else that he didn't include, because there are some people that he didn't include. But I want you to know that Dr. Smith and the board, we're including everyone. So send a nice thank you email for a change, please, because Ms. Goree doesn't like mean emails. I know how to send mean responses back. I'm so sorry, but you just got to be thankful for some things. Okay, so
That's all I have.
I'm going to just pull this one out right now, and because this is really a little different from the consent agenda,
Yes,
and entertain. Don't we need to vote on this?
we do. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'm gonna pull this out because we're gonna vote on the whole consent agenda, and I need a motion for the retention incentive that the superintendent is recommending. Ms. Baker.
Madam Chair, I move that we accept the retention incentive as presented.
All right, Mr. Christmas.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and properly second that we accept the superintendent's recommendation. Please vote. Oh, I'm sorry, I voted for you, Dr. Haney. Oh, okay, it is a unanimous vote. All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Mr. Vice Chair, members of the board, Superintendent Dr. Smith. You have received the SPLOST construction update. For the month of December, there were 5 payments totaling $6.9 million. There were no change orders for this period. Are there any questions for ongoing projects?
I had questions. They'll be coming to you. Somebody forgot to press the send button.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not calling any names.
Thank you, Dr. Smith.
All right. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Joseph.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Mr. Vice Chair, other members of the board, Superintendent Dr. Smith, colleagues, and community members. The personnel changes report summarizes all personnel actions for the period of November 10th through December 8th, 2023. All human resources updates were submitted to the Board of Education for your review. I am happy to answer any questions.
Do we have any questions, board members? Dr. Haney?
Go back to Dr. Smith's executive report. He was saying that if you could just clarify the calendar dates going from 5 business to 5 okay, explain all that. Just
So-
give me a rundown. That's all.
Absolutely. Historically, we've posted open vacancies for 5 business days, which means if we were on a holiday or a break, a non-working day, those days did not count toward the posting period. So to expedite hiring, we've now changed from 5 business days to 5 calendar days. So that would to include weekends.
Okay. Mr. Straker?
Ma'am, have we received an increase of inquiries into working for Clayton County, especially after that New York trip? I personally seen teachers that were showing me text messages from teachers all over Georgia asking them how they could become part of Clayton County. Did you see any increase or any emails or texts from that?
So we are currently still hiring. And certainly if those applicants have applied, we will definitely vet them. We're hiring teachers until the second week of February. And so we're happy to onboard any recommendation. I would be premature to say that I've noticed a rise since then, but we have definitely seen a steady application.
Dr. Lee, maybe you want to send that video out and get it viral.
Yes. And we are collaborating with communications on some efforts.
When you send that video out, make sure you really highlight somebody here as the tour guide. I'm sure that will bring in quite a few more.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We'll make sure buffers right there.
Are there any other questions? All right. Because this is a combined work session, we didn't vote on our consent agenda.
Thank you, Ms. Albright.
Last month. So at this time, I need a motion for a motion for the consent agenda, which includes the financial report, SPLOST revenue report, purchasing report, SPLOST construction report, and personnel changes. Mr. Christmas.
So moved, Madam Chair.
All right, I need a second. Ms. Baker.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and properly second that we accept the personnel changes report. Ms. Williams and Dr. Haney.
Oh, my bad.
All right, it is a unanimous vote. Okay. All right. What was that on? Go down, okay, we have some highlights. We're on our board matters, and at this point, we have a couple of slides from some things that our board members have been doing. I'm going to turn it over to you, Ms. Hill.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just wanted to share with the board that I had the opportunities for all things that you've seen represented here tonight. I had an invitation to the White House by the president of the National Education Association, Miss Rebecca Prangle. Here on the first slide, you see where a car so graciously picked me up to ride me to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. And here we are, that's our White House. And this is just a video of me going in. Of course, it's a lot more, but I tried to do a little snippet of all the grand. As you can imagine, I was in awe, just the opportunity to be there in the White House and be there to represent Clayton County Public Schools. And there, that's our President Biden and First Lady Mrs. Biden. And he was bringing us greetings and thanking us. And when I say us, meaning the public education sector and all of those who are doing a good work. And I'll just say, and he quoted, thank you. He acknowledged the great work that we are doing and preparing the next generation and just continuing to encourage us on doing the work for public education. And there you have a picture of our 35th president, John F. Kennedy. And that's me, as close to the Obamas as I could get. And so just really trying to capture the moment. It was so much going on, but such an amazing opportunity. And that's me and President Pringle from the NEA taking a picture in one of the many decorated rooms by the Property Brothers. And that's me at one of the Christmas trees. It was near where you were getting the good food and all of that stuff, but I just decided to do the Christmas tree. And that's us exiting, that we wanted to go, but it was kind of when they start closing the doors, it means it's time to leave the building. But it was just an amazing opportunity. And as you can imagine, it was just absolutely breathtaking. Oh, I like that song. And it was just such, I'm in awe, I'm still in awe, but it comes from the great work that you do, we do here in Clayton County that I talk about. It's because I say what we do. I just know that the work that we're doing here is unprecedented. As we saw the teachers going to New York, as we see our students coming up and sharing their experience, as we look at our reports and see the progress that is being made. I just want to just acknowledge and thank my esteemed colleagues, my fellow board members, our superintendent, the executive cabinet, teachers and staff for the prominent work that we are doing in Clayton County Public Schools. As I read the board packet, saw the reports, heard all that happened, our legislative priorities, or all the reasons that we were invited to Clayton County, to the White House on behalf of Clayton County. This is not about me. This is about our scholars and the work that we are doing to make them better. So together, we are building a better tomorrow today. And I just want to say thank you to everyone.
Thank you. We have a few other slides as well. Let's, Ms. Williams, you want to share your slide?
Okay. I had about 3 Christmas events I went to. And all I did, I gave out some candy bags with some pencils and some candy canes and talked to the parents and gave out information that the district is doing now, talked about the AIR program, the homeless department, and let them just come to the table and, you know, see if they have any questions, just talk to the community. And our new intern came and helped me at all 3 events. His name was Todd. And that's pretty much it.
We got our intern. Good.
All right, Ms. Baker.
I think we were all very busy the last few weeks. We did get a little bit of break. Just this last Friday and Saturday, I want to give a shout out to Suter Elementary, where we packed almost 300 backpacks with refresh for the new year of school supplies, and then handed those out to Principal Anderson, Vice Principal Pope, and the student liaison, Ms. Mitchell. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Y'all are angels for all this hard work. And it didn't make here, but I just want to give a shout out to the Douglas Brother Foundation and their Christmas that they did.
And in giving the shout out to the Douglas Brothers annual giveaway, we also want to thank the foundation. The foundation provided how many bicycles? Nearly 100 bicycles. I shared pictures. As I mentioned, I visited the state capitol today, but the real star, as you can see, that's the whole group shot, is Sergeant Walker. I'm not, how did I do that? McClendon. I done mixed up the chief and yes, Sergeant McClendon was invited to give some inspiration. And so, it being down there, I ran into our Senator C, a former school board chair, Jason Estes, who said, maybe you need to come down here. It's a piece of cake at the Capitol. And then I had a picture with the Lieutenant Governor, Mr. Burt Jones. And also, I actually received a nomination the other day. I don't know who was kind enough to nominate me for the Life Changer of the Year award. So I'm glad to know that I'm doing something right. And last but not least, we have a whole lot of new doctors around here, and I was able to become Dr. Jessie Goree over the break. I was fortunate enough to get nominated by, I received a Dr. I'm looking at Dr. Smith laughing. He said, you got a doctorate in what? Christian leadership. Anyway, I received my honorary doctorate from the School of the Great Commission Theological Seminary on December the 18th. And I want to thank Bishop Thomas. I want to thank Dr. Shanita Conley for the recommendation, and also Dr. Valiantly and Dr. Smith for the recommendation. So I wasn't able to write the dissertation like some of you all did and defend it, but I think my 15 years of service on the board is equally as acceptable to your dissertation. As the bishop said, people write about the work that I do. So I'm very humbled and grateful to have that distinction. All right, I think we covered everything. Oh yeah, that's my invitation to see. I got my little hood on right there, my little hat. So anyway, thank you all so much. Let's move on to policy series K, second read. Ms. Cooper, is that the policy? Which policy is it, K or L?
I want to say it's K.
That you wanted to discuss?
Yes, the visitors at the school.
All right, there was a question, and I believe Ms. Garrett.
KMR1.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, Madam Chair, Mr. Vice Chair, members of the board, Superintendent Smith, and he's giving me the eye, so I'm gonna be very quick. I'm gonna actually try and answer for all the other individuals so we can try and maybe expedite our exit. And if not, I do have other individuals in the audience who can provide more detailed information if you need. We did send an email just providing some general information, but the long and short of it is no, we're not fully restricting the access to visitors, but what we are trying to do is provide some guidance and some guidelines to manage it. Over the years, individuals, third-party therapists have come into the district, and as you imagine, when we look at the instructional seat time and we look at also the provision of services through our student support services team, there are oftentimes those individuals coming in. If we don't have parameters, what occurs is we end up getting to a situation where they're actually interacting with the students, they're impacting the instructional time for other students, and they're also just kind of coming into the building and actually really creating a little bit of havoc in instances. So what we're really trying to do is manage it. And so you'll see there's an accompanying regulation. So while they're still allowed in the building, we're also providing a confidentiality statement to them. We're providing some information which really advises them that the purpose for their ability to come into the building is really for observation. They provide their services externally. because we do have contractual individuals and staff and contracts. We also have staff members who provide services. So what we wanted to do is make sure they understood that distinction, and that the time, those 6-7 hours that we have those students, we're ensuring that we're meeting state requirements as well as federal requirements for providing the provision of services. But we're not restricting their entry into the district, but we are managing it. We're providing more guidelines so that we can ensure that there's no confusion.
Thank you for that clarification.
My pleasure.
Thanks.
So are you all right with it now? Okay, just want to make sure. Do we have anything else on Series K? All right, I believe we vote next. We got to vote on tonight? Oh, I thought we would do this on the next meeting. All right, Policy Series L.
And there were no recommended changes.
Okay. Clean up policies, regulations, second read. Okay. All right, well then I'll go back to Policy K. I need a motion for us to accept Policy Series K. Mr. Christmas.
So moved.
All right, Mr. Straker.
I second the motion, Madam Chair.
All right, it's been moved and properly seconded that we accept Series K. Please vote. All right, it's a unanimous vote. All right, Policy Series L. I need a motion. Mr. Christmas.
So moved, Madam Chair.
Ms. Williams.
I second it.
It's been moved and properly seconded that we accept Policy Series L. Please vote. Ms. Bowles. All right, it's a unanimous vote. All right, I don't think. Okay. All right, business agenda for action. We have our Clayton County Public Schools 2023-2024 legislative priorities. Those have been presented. Do we need to add anything else to them? Actually, we have that down for action. We do not have to vote on that tonight since we just received it. Is there any, we are going to have a second meeting this month regardless. So do we need to add anything? Ms. Baker?
Not actually add, I just want to thank that we added the TRS to this as one of our priorities. And then a question for the next meeting is, I know some of us had talked about starting TRS for some of the maintenance and the possibility of doing it at the first of the year versus the fiscal year. And I just wanted to get an update on that.
Okay, I think that Dr. Smith can give us the update regarding that. I think it's in there, maybe I didn't read it, but I thought it was listed. So if you want to give a response?
As we do our midterm adjustments relative to the budget, that's when we want to tackle any kind of significant financial commitment. So we're still getting ready to look at that. And we're also looking to see if we're going to get any poverty money to help us with our fund balance before we make any commitments. But we've got it teed up and we're ready to go at the earliest opportunity without having to wait at the beginning of the fiscal year, Mrs. Baker.
Ms. Bowles.
More of a question and maybe a recommendation for something to add. And we don't have to answer this now. I know this is an ongoing conversation, but priorities 6 and 8 look kind of similar. And so I've just got mainly some language comments. And so the priority 6 is about retirement and pension, and so is priority 8 for the non-teachers, and so wondering about consolidating those goals. And then the only thing I don't see missing, although I'd love to talk through all of them with you, Dr. Lee, is I don't see a request to uphold or preserve truth-telling and history in our schools and classrooms. That's a hot topic right now, and I foresee some of that. And then I see a comment, one of them talks about supporting QBE, which I think is very important, but I don't see anything that explicitly says that we're going to be opposed to any privatization efforts. And I think that's equally important because it's a part of QBE, making sure that that formula is geared all toward public schools. So those are a couple of thoughts, and thank you for this draft of legislative priorities.
Ms. Bowles, can you send us a copy of everything you just said? And we can, and put the language that you think that we should have. I actually thought I saw something in here, but I'm having trouble seeing regarding the, yeah, I thought we put it in there. If not, I think it might be on the page before, but maybe we need to make it more explicit.
Sure.
Once I receive that email from
Thank
Mrs.
you.
Bowles, I'll be more than happy to retweak the priorities and send them back to the board for review.
Okay, yeah, we'll hold off on that one. Okay. I'm gonna flip this. Because I think we may end up in here no, we'll just go ahead. The school board meeting calendar. We have 2 calendars in there, and we tabled last meeting. We had a majority that was trying to move to one meeting. I sent you our information on a proposal for how we could look for one meeting, but I also realized that we have some people that might have an issue with the one meeting. So I think I put a compromise in there. I also put a copy of everybody else's meeting schedule. Do we have a recommendation for what we want to do for our board meeting calendar? Ms. Baker.
Madam Chair, I personally would like us to keep our current calendar until the end of this school year, and then relook at that so we have time to get more information on scheduling and such.
Okay, Ms. Bowles.
My only recommendation for the newly proposed calendar is to front load all board retreats as well.
Well, the only problem with front loading those is that I sent you all the email, and I sent some proposed dates. We can't front load until I get a response. That's the problem. I don't get responses from the board members on when they want the dates. So I
believe we can able to propose some dates, Madam Chair, and I think you just asked if we had any comments, so that's my comment, but we're happy to get you the dates that you need, but that's my comment for our macro calendar, is that it includes board retreats as well, if possible.
That is fine. Ms. Williams.
I vote for the one meeting a month, starting immediately.
Okay, so right now we have some comments. I'm gonna let Ms. Cooper, and then I'm gonna just take a motion. Ms. Cooper.
Go ahead and make the motion, because I was just going to stand with our 2.
I can't hear you. Say it again, Ms. Cooper.
I'm going to go ahead and stay with our 2 meetings per month. That's all I was going to say. But if you're going to make a motion, we can just vote.
Okay. All right. So, Ms. Williams, do you want to make a motion? The first person that made a comment was Ms. Baker. Then I had Ms. Williams and Ms. Bowles. So do we have a motion, or do we want to, again, we have another meeting. We're going to have a second meeting. One of the things that Ms. Bowles says is that she wanted to have the dates on the calendar. So if we move to the one meeting, then we would have those dates on there already. And in order for me to put the dates on there, I need you all to read what I sent to you all and respond back to me for the dates. So do you all want to wait one more meeting and make the decision, or what? Now, Ms. Williams, you have the floor, so you can make a motion or. All right, she's moved that. Okay, she's moved that we. What'd you say? Okay, so. All right, let me. I tell you what, okay, she's made the motion. Do we have a second for the motion? Mr. Christmas. Okay, Mr. Christmas has seconded the motion. I actually was gonna make a motion to just wait till the end. Okay, so we have a motion on the floor to move to one meeting. So it's been moved in second. So now we need a vote. So let's vote.
But this is one meeting.
Okay. Right now, we have 5 opposed. We have 4 in favor, so that fails. All right. I'll make a motion to wait until we have dates for the one meeting per month and for further study on whether we move to one meeting or 2. So does that cover everything? All right, Mr. Straker.
So move, Madam Chair.
I think I made the motion. Are you seconding?
Can you repeat the motion?
What did you say, Mr.?
My motion is for us to get the information in order to have the one meeting and to have further study to determine whether or not we are going to have the one meeting or 2.
Right. So move, Madam Chair. We're gonna have a discussion. So we're not doing anything until we discuss this as a group. When will the discussion take place?
Next meeting.
Okay, next meeting. We'll discuss it next meeting.
I have a motion for, okay, so she seconded. Okay, so are you out voting or y'all have some
No, I
comment?
have a question.
Okay.
Okay. Just for clarification, Clem, if we voted down one meeting and we said we want to stay at 2, so we can go and, I guess, do another motion to have a meeting, well, to decide if we're going to have one meeting? I'm confused as to what's going on.
Actually, all I'm trying to do is postpone it again. That's all I'm trying to postpone it. I'm trying to get what Ms. Bowles incorporate what she said. So if there is a
But we've already
motion
voted.
next time for one meeting, then we can either vote it up or down. And also for us to get further study. Mr. Straker is saying it's too soon to make the decision.
And let me be clear. Ms. Baker made a proposal that
Right.
stated that we wait until
Right.
the end of the year to make this decision so
Right.
that we can study it and see if we would want to move forward with that. So I think that's a reasonable
So I'm
request.
just,
And
I just combined everything, so.
So, Madam Chair, I would say a couple of things. You can do this a few different ways procedurally. You can make other votes. They're not necessary in that the one meeting a month initiative has failed for now, at least. And so you don't really have a calendar, and yet you can also bring this up at any time. I think you should clarify what is the next step. I think I heard you say, Madam Chair, your motion would entail bringing it back for discussion next month for a vote. Is that right?
It may not even come back for a vote. We just need out the information.
That's what I would say. The board should clarify that. Ms. Baker was clear about her timeline. So whatever compromise motion. It
Well,
should be clear.
that's just one suggestion. So I'm trying to
Right.
put
Hers
everybody's
was not a
suggestion.
motion.
I'm just trying to put everybody's suggestion into one motion. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm trying to include hers. I tried to include Ms. Bowles. I'm trying to include still because she said one, but she wants dates. So see, the vote could have been different if she had the information. Okay, Ms. Hill.
I was just trying to get clarity, Madam Chair, and I'm still confused because I thought that Ms. Williams motioned for us to have one meeting per month. There was a second motion, at which time there was a vote. When that vote took place, there was 5 opposed and 4 in favor. So at that particular time, I understood that the vote was that we will resume our 2 meetings per month since the 1 meeting was voted down.
No.
So now I'm hearing that there's another motion on the floor in order for us to further discuss another opportunity for how to move forward. So I'm just needing clarity as to where we are and what is next.
I'm basically postponing the vote.
Yes, that's.
So that we can get clarity on what we want to do as a majority. He said we needed to have more of a study. She said she wanted to wait until the end of the year, but we can't do anything. Ms. Bowles said she wanted to have the dates on there. That doesn't mean that that motion can't come back for the one. I'm just trying, if we can just, everybody give some input, then we could just move on with this. That's all I'm trying to do is just postpone it so that we can get input from everybody.
Do you see my light, Madam Chair?
I do. I'm still down here on this end. I see it. That's it.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm listening.
All right. Ms. Bowles?
Yeah, 2 things. One, the dates, I'm unsure what email you're referring to. I can go back and check, but I also proposed board dates, so I don't want it to seem like we are missing the board retreat dates. I'm also okay with this calendar maybe without them, as long as we get those dates named. I think the bigger issue is I pressed my button to offer a motion to just table this agenda item. We clearly need more discussion. This isn't something I think we should rush through. And instead of saying we'll study or email or this, just table the topic and the item until our next meeting, and we can correspond virtually between now and then.
That's what I just said.
Well, that's why I'm trying to be helpful by offering the motion that we table this topic.
That's my motion.
Great, so I'll second it.
It's already been seconded.
So
we were just we're in the middle of discussion before we vote.
I thought we just decided to discuss later.
No, we're in the middle of discussion over the motion. They were trying to get clarity on this end. Mr. Stryker.
Yeah, Madam Chair, I think you definitely cleared it up. I just want to be very clear, Ms. Hill, if I can talk to my fellow colleague. That vote was voted down. It's done. But we can make as many motions as we want for anything else that comes up. And I think Madam Chair simply made another motion to say, well, let's go back to the table and see if adjustments or research or anything else can come up that would make us resurface that vote. But the vote is no right now. So we're staying the same.
Right. Now all we're doing is basically what Ms. Bowles is saying. She was trying to, I didn't say table. I was just trying to put everything in there that everybody had mentioned. So that's basically what we're trying to do. I just need you to vote. We need you all to vote on the other end. Okay, so we have 4 against it. We have 4 in favor. I need, well, I guess, no, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Madam Chair,
Which
my
way, Ms.
vote's-
Bowles? Okay, Ms. Bowles, so 5 people are in favor of us tabling. Okay, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay. 5. Oh, no, I don't know what Ms. Hill, which way are you, yes or no?
I'm no.
Okay. All right, well, now we have a tie. We have 4 and 4 opposed, so it looks like we're gonna be here all night. Ms. Williams is abstaining.
So then their vote fails.
Yep.
Yes.
All right,
No,
so-
ma'am. Well, you could entertain a motion to approve the 2-a-month calendar, which is posted if you like.
Yeah, that's done. We're in that motion now. It's no need for that motion. It's staying. Am I right?
Actually, what I did, I put what you said in there, but then she voted against what she said. So
All right, so that's it.
I'm gonna take this off the agenda. We gonna discuss this. I'm removing it. Let's adopt the academic calendar so we can, let's get to that, please. Now, how many people we got left? We got 6 people. Can we vote on the academic calendar? Mr. Striker, you want to make a motion for which?
The academic calendar.
Yes.
So move.
No, you got to tell me which one. We had
You
2.
said the proposed school year 24-25 academic calendar.
Which one was recommended?
Okay,
let me
it's different.
turn out this light, so. Which one did you recommend, Dr. Smith? Number 1. I think the superintendent recommended number 1. Which one are you,
Number 1.
What's your motion?
Number 1, to approve the academic calendar, number 1, for school year 24-25.
All right. This been moved. Do we have a second? All right, is this a second, Ms.?
I second it.
All right, she seconded. All right, we have 5 in favor. Let's see who, Dr. Haney. Oh, okay. So we have 6 in favor, 2 opposed. All right.
And then we have the,
We still haven't,
Okay.
we still haven't decided what we're doing with this, with our calendar.
but with our calendar, isn't it
Tabled.
tabled or?
That's what we try to do. No, y'all voted it down to table it.
Right, at this point, it's 2.
We just won't have a calendar. We'll talk about it next meeting. We've been here too long.
Adjourn?
Should make it, thank you. Thank you for everything you all, sorry.
Got it.
We're adjourned.